welcome to the Q. I am Gummi.
I'm Sammy, and we have a very special guest with us today, Miss Alexa Huerta. She is a licensed professional counselor. She works for Pillar, and she's here because today we're talking about dating in 2023, and you had to deal with a couple of couples. Yes?
Yes.
More than a couple, right?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
We were talking about Keke Palmer, and for those of you that may or may not know, I don't know when this episode comes out, but right now, currently in social media news and in entertainment news, Keke Palmer has been thrown out there a couple of times because of the fact that her baby daddy / boyfriend was kind of upset that she was on stage in a viral video with Usher. She's on stage, Usher singing to her, which is a dream come true for anybody really, and she's on stage. It just so happens that she's wearing something that's a little bit revealing, maybe kind of a lot revealing, depending on who you are and how you feel about this type of thing. But that's not the biggest problem. The biggest problem is that we've all agreed on this, that her boyfriend / baby daddy, Darius, we just give him a name because everyone's calling him her baby
Darius
daddy.
Dalton.
Darius Dalton says, and if I'm not sure if I'm quoting this correctly, but he's like, it's that outfit. You're a mom. Mm-hmm. So he's talking about this. I do not completely disagree with his statement. I disagree with him going online and exposing that. It's not a problem until someone talks about it online. And it could have very easily been taken care of between the couple. They could have talked about it. Maybe they're in agreement. Maybe they're not in agreement. But they didn't. He did not have to go and put more light on what happened.
I know it goes down back to communication, right? Obviously, we could assume, right, that there could be some kind of insecurity going on in there.
Yeah. Of
him having to feel that the only way to get her attention about this was through Twitter. But at the end of the day, I mean, if you can't communicate with your partner, whether it's 1 month of dating to 20 years of dating, then there's no relationship. Point blank.
I mean, back in the day, this wouldn't happen. Like, I know that we say this all the time back in the day, but if I have a problem with my girlfriend, I can't tweet about it, and I'm not going to post about it. Why would I do that in 2023? You call her like a man, and you talk to her, or you maybe you live together, bro. I mean, you're the baby daddy. You should have access to your baby mama and your girlfriend. And why are you going to do this online? Why? I mean, maybe he was upset that everyone's watching this happen online, so he goes and he makes the comment online. Bro, tell her in person. I don't know. Gummi, what do you feel about this?
Yeah, I don't think that's appropriate. That's a private matter. I mean,
it's a private
what
matter.
What she did was out in public, obviously, but your feelings should not be aired in public. Plus, it's Keke Palmer, right? So she's attractive. She's a celebrity. What's gonna happen if she has a kissing scene?
Yeah.
But if she has a sex scene or something where she's
Are you
nude,
saying the unattractive women, it's okay for them to be flirting?
No. I'm saying, I'm saying that
Gummi doesn't care about unattractive women.
If she's a celebrity, or since she's a celebrity, she's gonna pose in bikinis and bodysuits and other things. It shouldn't be a surprise. Yes, she's a mom, but who cares if she's a mom?
Yeah.
And I know you said that she had just had a kid, right?
Yeah.
So she's proud. She's worked her way back.
She's looking good.
Yeah, she's looking good, and so she's proud of that. Nothing wrong with that.
So Gummi, if Keke Palmer was your girl, you'd be okay with her dressing like that in public?
The dressing is fine.
Mm-hmm.
If I wasn't there at the concert, so I don't know what exactly happened. But the way I saw what she was wearing, so I mean that's fine. I don't really care how she's dressed. My only thing would be if she's having some sort of like a lap dance or something sensual.
They looked like they were having a moment, if I'm not mistaken.
I think they were dancing because he was serenading to her.
Serenading, yeah.
Yeah. So, but it goes back to the boundaries that you set, right? And it goes back to communicating that with your partner behind closed doors. He had no business going on Twitter.
So how do you feel about the way she was dressed?
I thought she looked beautiful. I believe it's a very pretty dress, and she has curves, and why can't she not flaunt them?
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
I mean, if he doesn't like that, then adjust it behind closed doors.
Okay.
But I don't think there's anything wrong with what she was wearing.
So and so then he goes online, and you know the quote on what he said. What did he say?
Yes, he said.
So he said something about like he's being a hater. Or?
That he's like, we live in a generation where a man of the family doesn't want the wife and mother to his kids to showcase her booty cheeks to please others, and he gets told how much of a hater he is.
Do you think he's being a hater?
No.
Okay.
I don't. I agree in the stance of the fact that it was inappropriate, the delivery of it all.
Yeah.
If that is who
That's what he feels.
if that's what he feels,
He
it's
has every right to feel that.
valid,
But
right?
but exposing it online is wrong.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what we. That's the issue with like with online, with social media nowadays. We feel that it's our diary, and we want to put everything out there, good and bad of our relationships, right? So yeah, he exposed themselves both to be open to the scrutiny, right? Of people having these debates of, well, he doesn't work.
Why do you think he said it? Not so much why he said it online, but why do you think he felt that way?
I want to say he's insecure.
You want to say he's insecure?
I want to think that.
Okay. Do you think he's insecure, Gummy?
I think it goes back to like, being confident in that relationship.
So
right?
you think he's insecure? You think he's not confident?
He might be insecure, but it goes to this. There's insecurities, and there's also a matter of respect, right? So if you're a guy, and again, it goes back to what you said, the communication. If you're not communicating this with the woman that you're with, or the man, or whatever, then there's no understanding, in this issue, and you learn as you grow together.
Okay, so there's two opinions now on the table. Alexa thinks he's insecure. You think he's just not confident, and he did not make clear his boundaries, right? He did not say what his boundaries were.
It could be a combination of everything.
Now I'm going to come in and I'm going to ask the questions. Here we go. So you have somebody in your life, right?
Yes.
Someone that you care about. Are you okay with him exposing some skin, maybe some booty cheeks, maybe some muscles, opening his shirt, and somebody looking at the man in your life?
They could look, but they can't touch.
They can look. So someone can look. Now, if someone is looking at your man in a lustful way and thinking, man, he looks really, really good. I like his booty. I like his thighs. I like his legs. I like his pecs. I like the way he looks. Are you okay with this? Done.
It's because it can't be so black. It's not black and white.
But are you okay with it? Do you want someone else looking at your partner in that way?
No.
Does that make you insecure though?
No.
See, you understand? This is where it becomes complicated.
Yeah.
You think that this guy Darius is insecure, but you have the same feeling, and you don't feel that you're insecure. What's the difference?
I think the fact that he didn't have the confidence or for himself to just talk to her in private.
Okay, so he's insecure by not saying it to her face.
Yes, he had to, behind his phone, just tweet about it.
I see that. Okay, I see that. So instead of making it a them problem, he makes it a world problem.
A world problem.
That's insecurity. That's anything. I think that's petty.
Yeah.
That's a petty problem. I don't know if it's insecure, but I think it's petty. Now you say he didn't have the confidence to expose his boundaries ahead of time and explain his boundaries ahead of time. Why? Why are you saying that? Now, if you were to be dating Keke Palmer, would you tell Keke Palmer, don't you be wearing that to the concert? I don't like that.
Well, I don't really care what she wears.
Yeah.
The thing is, look, celebrities, she's a celebrity for one, right? So they wear crazy stuff, dude, all the time. And
you know who you're dating.
You know who you're dating, yeah. In a real world where we're not dating celebrities, if you meet somebody and they dress a certain way, then you're gonna either have to accept that, because if you don't accept that, then it's controlling, or there should be a compromise. It's like, okay, look, I'm not gonna wear, something that's gonna accentuate the best part of my body or whatever, right? And you don't either. I don't know if that's something that you actually want to compromise or something. But I think, like men, pants, shorts, shirts. I mean, there's nothing sexy, I don't think, unless they wear, you want to consider.
Have you seen some of these guys in these hoochie daddy shorts?
But I think
I'm confident enough to say that.
I think men sexualize women a lot more than women do.
This is true.
No,
you're not wrong.
And so, like, I think this is why the emphasis on what she's wearing as opposed to what the guy's wearing. The guy.
And it's such a double standard, because he posts on his Instagram a half naked photo, and that was fine for him.
I'm in total agreement with that. Like, bro, if you don't want someone looking at her skin, don't be exposing your skin either. Now, but you said confidence. What would a confident man do in this situation? You're saying it's a lack of confidence. What would a confident man do in this situation? You're saying she said he was insecure. You said he's not confident. What would Darius do if he was confident? What would he do differently if he was confident?
he wouldn't care.
He wouldn't care.
He wouldn't care. Now, if he
It would be a non-issue.
and if it's something that it bothers him, okay, well, as a confident man and a respectful man, because it's the same. If you're telling me, okay, you're gonna disrespect me by having this dude grind on you and stuff, and like I'm your guy, like I'm the only guy that's supposed to be doing that, right? If you're talking about a respect issue, then you're doing the same thing by posting it online and saying, look, you dumbass, like you're doing this and you're disrespecting me while you're doing the exact same thing to her.
Yeah.
So you talk about it in
He's
person.
fighting fire with fire.
Yeah, you talk about it in private. And so this is a matter where, nothing should ever be aired in public, whether it's online or if it's in public, at a bar or at a restaurant and you're fighting and stuff. And you see this sometimes, out in public. But it shouldn't be aired in public.
Well, I agree. I mean, now let's jump really quick to the Jonah Hill.
Okay, so Jonah Hill,
right?
Also in the news because his ex exposed him for being supposedly narcissistic and misogynistic.
Toxic.
She has labeled him as misogynistic and narcissistic because of the fact that on many occasions he would text her and say, I don't like this. I've set my boundaries. I don't want you taking pictures. Now, let's talk about who his ex is. She's a surfer / trainer. And when he met her, all her social media was pictures of her surfing at the beach in a one piece, in a two piece, sometimes in a thong. She is a good looking girl. She's a beach girl, and that's the way she dresses. He knew what he was getting into.
He slid into one of her DMs with that. And the reason why I want to bring it up is because you mentioned the boundaries and knowing, right, who you're dating, right, and allowing that. And so what I think now with the whole Jonah Hill situation is, although he put his boundaries, he made them clear, they were just unreal. And it was just not even, at this point, they weren't even considered boundaries. They're just toxic rules.
So you think what he was asking for is unrealistic?
1,000%.
Okay. Now, if he set the boundaries ahead of time and she still agreed to date him, are they still unrealistic? If she knew that he didn't want that, if she knows, well, this guy, I like Jonah Hill, right? And he doesn't want me to do this. He's already expressed the boundaries, which I think is great because we talk about communication all the time. So he's communicating with her. I don't like this. So before we get into this relationship, I don't like this. She does not say, well, you're not for me, bud. She continues with the relationship and says, well, okay, let's make it work.
Yeah. Well, we could assume, we're assuming that this was told in the beginning because we're not sure if this messages were.
Yeah. I mean, in the message, he says, I have expressed my boundaries.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he said, yeah.
And he didn't say it in an ugly way, but he said in the text message, I've expressed my boundaries.
Yeah, he said, if you need surfing with men, boundaryless, inappropriate friendships with men, to model, to post pictures of yourself in a bathing suit, to post sexual pictures, friendships with women who are in unstable places and from your wild recent past beyond getting a lunch or coffee or something respectful. I am not the right partner for you. If these things bring you to a place of happiness, I support it and there will be no hard feelings. These are my boundaries for a romantic partnership.
He said this to her.
Yes.
But see, there he's centering his boundaries.
And then she continues with the relationship?
Well, I'm not sure. I don't know this. I don't know the timeline because it was back in 2021. I don't know how long they've dated.
It's. I think he's saying it in a mature way. He's pretty much telling her, you're not for me. And it's okay. Like, I think it's okay. She's not that girl. She's not that girl. And he's not that guy. You just have to find the right person for you, and it's okay. Like, let's pretend you don't like your girlfriend showing off booty cheeks, and you don't want your girlfriend flirting with other people and exposing skin. Well, that's okay. Find a girl that feels the same way. I'll give you an example. In my own personal life, will be a little bit vulnerable. I'm very lucky that my wife. I'm the opposite. I want her to sometimes wear certain things, not super sexual, but hey, baby, show this. You look pretty. She's like, nope, I don't want to wear that. And for the most part, my wife doesn't want to dress like that. And luckily for me, I'm okay with that. Like, I want her to look her best. I want her to be pretty, and she knows that I like for her to dress as pretty as she wants to. But sometimes she's like, no, I want to stay a little bit modest.
But there's a very, very line that's like, I don't know, a very blurry line there where we're crossing from things that are just you can't expect, especially for her, for example, the surfing with men. I mean, she's just a surfer.
And she trains.
Yeah, so it goes back to how much of these boundaries are really just your issues, and you're trying to make it a couple issue when it's not something to do with me. It's all about you.
Yeah.
You know, going back to Keke Palmer, same thing. Like, how much of it is it a you issue and you're making it a my issue too?
Because it becomes about control then.
I'm a social person, and God bless my wife. I take pictures with people all the time, females and males, and she's, she for the most part, I don't think she's thrilled about me taking pictures with people, but I mean, she understands, and I don't know what this girl was doing. I don't know what kind of pictures she was taking or whatever, but I mean, you know who you're with. You choose your partner. You can't just, and I think that's why he expressed his boundaries. Now, do you think that let's pretend before they took it any further, he made that statement, and that's it. That was the end of the conversation, and they no longer dated. Do you think it's still toxic?
Oh, I think him in general is very toxic to expect that. But if she decided no, if he expressed that feeling, that boundary, and she decided to get out of the relationship, but I think that was the best thing for her. Do I still think Jonah Hill is a toxic man for wanting this from any of his partners? A little bit, yeah.
Okay, so do you think any man or woman wanting that from their relationship?
To somebody,
at what point does it become toxic?
Well, just surfing with men. I mean, it starts with the first one.
She's a surfer, dude.
Yeah,
I mean,
and it's just like, oh, I don't want you to work with men, or I don't want you to work with women. It's like,
yeah, that's stupid.
Yeah, in the beginning, how can I say, oh, this beach could only be for women? Like, that's already unrealistic. Boundaries been set in place.
Yeah, that part for sure.
Maybe, okay, you should have some boundaries with your friendships. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But the first one he started was surfing with men.
Surfing with men.
Yeah,
dude.
And it just goes back to, like, when we're dating, to be mindful that you are picking this life partner. Some people just date just for a while, for fun.
Yeah.
And that's where we lose that sense of, ownership of ourselves.
Yeah.
Right? We're just messing around just to mess around, right? When we want to date someone, we want to, figure out who they like, what they like, and if it does match with our values.
Right now, like, if people that are out there dating, people our age, some people still go out to bars and clubs and stuff like that, but you've done that. If you've done that for so long, for such a long time, then you get tired of the same thing, right? And I think now, like, because of social media, because of our phones and stuff, a lot of people just get bored really easily because they want instant satisfaction. So if you look at, like, say, Gen Z or millennials, they have fewer relationships, right? But they now have more than ever. They have a lot of options, but I think a lot of times right now, the people who are single or who are out there looking, they don't know what they want, for one, right? And they're picking people based on what I call qualifiers that are completely dumb. So, like
looks,
money, or, like, they have to be, tall or over 6 feet, or they have to make a lot of money, or they have to have a certain type of car or whatever, right?
Superficial stuff.
Yeah, superficial, which has nothing to do with
the longevity of a relationship.
Yeah, or the success of it, right? And yet, you ask, and because I've talked to women, a lot of women who are either friends or co-workers or whatever, and a lot of them say the same thing. It's always like, well, they have to be taller, they have to be this, or they have to be that, and these qualifiers are completely, to me, they're unrealistic and they're dumb.
Okay.
Because and the one that I keep on repeating is like, oh, they have to be 6 feet or over.
Yeah.
And I always joke, like, because we know that everybody below 6 feet, they're incapable of love, right, or having successful relationships.
All these short people.
Laredo.
All these short people can't love.
Like, we live on the border. We're Latinos. There's very few tall people.
But okay, so you're right. So I'm going to talk about that. So again, it's okay to want somebody over 6 feet.
Of course.
It's okay because that's what you want. That's what you're attracted to. But understand that just because they're over 6 feet, they're not going to meet the other qualifications.
Yeah.
Right? Like maybe you meet someone over 6 feet, but he doesn't make a lot of money. I saw a meme online, and the meme said, in order to be a good man in 2023, you have to be tall, good looking, ripped. You have to make over $1 million, and you have to let her flirt with all these guys. You have to let her go out and wear whatever she wants, and you have to just pretty much just let her do whatever she wants, and you pay the bills and you deal with it. And it seems ridiculous because it is ridiculous, right? And that's exactly what you're saying, that we deal with these qualifiers.
It's just materialistic. It's being tall. What does that mean? Like it's just aesthetic. It's like oh, we look good on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you find that guy, he doesn't have a brother, you know. But at the end of the day, like we do set these standards for ourselves, right? Do they have to be like like if I can't find a 6 foot man, okay, I'm done. No, we have to be open minded, right? That yeah, there is probably all these other men or women who may not fit these standards that we have for ourselves, but give us something else.
As a woman, if I was a woman and I would set these standards, I'd be like, am I the kind of woman? Am I giving exactly everything that I'm wanting? Like, am I 6 feet tall? Do I have $1 million in the bank? Am I gonna be okay with him flirting? You know what I mean? Like, you can't expect all these things and not be able to give the things back.
Because all you're doing is limiting yourself.
Yeah.
Think of it like a sheet of paper. You know, and normally I would show this in a piece of paper.
He's a millionaire and he wants to pay my bills, but he's 5'11", bro.
Oof.
Yeah.
Out.
You have a sheet of paper and you're saying, well, if you're straight, right? So let's just say that half of them are women, so you already lost half of that sheet of paper.
Right.
And then you go through each qualifier, and at the end you're gonna end up with
a small pool.
Yeah, but now you have to realize, okay, out of these people, do they even want me?
Yeah.
Right? Because I can want them but it doesn't matter, because if they don't want me, then what difference does it make?
You've gotta be worth it to the same person that you want.
You can't say, well, shoot for the stars, and then you'll get what, because then you're basically settling, right? If you're wanting this person that doesn't exist, or if they exist, they may not even want you. Then whatever you land on, it means you're settling for something. Do you want to say, hey, honey, happy anniversary, I wanted a 6 foot tall guy, but I settled for you? Like, no, that's not the most romantic thing to tell him, right?
And I mean, we could also just think about the standards now that women and men are putting for themselves, right? In the sense of just not, wanting more for themselves than maybe our parents couldn't give us, right? Especially for someone living like in the Hispanic machismo, time. It does, where nowadays women are just realizing that they don't have to settle for anyone. They could reach for the moon, right? And maybe not get the 6 foot guy, but get someone that isn't toxic and does care for them.
Let's change the subject before we say goodbye, because it's almost going to be time for us to go. But as a counselor, you've dealt with other problems, not just stuff like this. What else have you dealt with? So, you mentioned machista, and you say you've dealt with that?
Yeah, especially here in Laredo, I see a lot of couples who come with that specific situation where women feel powerless in their relationship, just because when they got in it could be 10, 15 years ago, and they wanted one thing, but then as times change, they grow. It's not the same values anymore. So a lot of the things I help with when it comes to relationships is for women or men to redefine what they want, right, for themselves, and then put that out there.
Some of these couples, if you could tell them to go back in time, what would you tell these people before they came at you with the problem?
Well, to communicate and to set that foundation, of trust and with their partner, right? Whether it's in the first month, to really just talk about them and talk with them and really find out, especially for yourself, right? What is it that you want, right? And also just be open-minded that you can grow in a relationship. You don't have to be stuck, right? And you could want your partner to grow with you, and it may not always be the case. You could grow apart as well.
What would you tell these women before they got married to these guys that now they feel powerless?
That they're not.
Choose someone else.
Choose someone else.
Run away.
Yeah, like you don't have to choose. Like you mentioned this earlier. Sometimes people just settle, and you choose to who you're going to be with. You don't have to choose the first person. Dig deeper. And
get to know yourself.
Yeah, get to know yourself. Love yourself. Before we say goodbye, I just want to say we'll give the closing statements. We'll give it to our guest, Miss Alexa. Go ahead and finish off your final thought.
So I would say that if you are a teen, an older woman, older man, teenager, whatever your age may be, if you do want, support and to find yourself, You could always come to counseling at Pillar, and we could provide that support, that listening ear to help you figure out what's best for you.
Give them the phone number. How can they get a hold of you?
It's 956-723-7457.
723-7457 Pillar, or you can find Pillar Strong. Just do a search on social media for Pillar Strong. Thank you, Miss Alexa, for being here. A lot of great insight. And my statement is that I believe that what Jonah wants is fine. I think what Miss Kiki wants is fine. The only thing is you have to find someone that wants the same thing as you do. Jonah, if you want a girl that's going to be like that, I think it's okay. I wouldn't say it's misogynistic and narcissistic. I think it might be a little bit out of touch. I think it might be a little bit difficult. Like Gummi said earlier, you can find someone like that, but you are limiting yourself. Instead of compromising, you're limiting yourself. So Jonah, you can find a woman like that. And you just have to, you have to find a woman that agrees with you on that. Miss Kiki, if you want to show off a little bit of skin, you got to find yourself a confident man. We were talking about machistas and stuff like that. You got to find a man that's a little bit confident. And if there's someone out there that, for sure, exposing it online is petty and definitely not a confident trait. So to Darius, I understand what you want, and there's nothing wrong with what you want, but you should have communicated that before you had a baby with this lady. And you should not have communicated it online for the whole world to see. I think that whatever you or your partner wants is valid. I think you guys should reach communications and reach some kind of agreement, but you should not be exposing your partner online. Show some confidence and be a leader and take care of the one that you love, and hopefully they'll take care of you back.
Yeah, so my final thought is, I see a lot of people getting into relationships because they're either lonely or they think they need somebody, and the relationship sucks, and they stay in that relationship because they either think they can't do better, or again it goes back to low self-esteem, low confidence, self-confidence, insecurities and stuff. And I would just say to people, like, if you're gonna get into a relationship, make sure you know the person you're gonna get into a relationship with, and love yourself before you start loving somebody else. Because if you don't have that in yourself, then there's no way that you're gonna give that to somebody else. So love yourself before you love somebody else, and don't have ridiculous expectations.
Don't be ridiculous at all. Thank you to Pillar and Miss Alexa. Follow Pillar on social media. You can follow Gummi under Instagram under Travel with Gummi. You can follow me under Sammy the House, and of course follow us on YouTube, on TikTok, and on Instagram under the QLTX. That is the QLTX, and
on Facebook.
Yeah, and on Facebook as well. The QLTX again. Be good to each other, be confident, love yourself, and love your partner, and be reasonable.